The assassination of Charlie Kirk in Utah last month brought renewed attention to the ways Americans debate and engage in political dialogue. Kirk was famous in part for his back and forth with students on college campuses, moments he posted on social media that often went viral. Judy Woodruff reports now on the spectacle that debate has become in the U.S. and what it means for our ability to disagree. It's part of her series, America at a Crossroads.
Friends, it's a real honor to see y'all.
At the College of Charleston in South Carolina, communications professor Michael Lee is on a mission.
We're going to go around the room and talk about the debates that I asked you to watch.
Lee directs the Civility Initiative and calls his students Free Expression Fellows. His goal is to improve the nature of our debates, dialogue, and disagreements.
Can all agree to disagree in some ways, and I think that it feels a little bit more doable.
Not really like as much respect and politeness, more just like basic, like it's okay, we can disagree and just move on.
Lee's students learn how to organize productive debates and discussions, like one earlier this month on campus between two former South Carolina lawmakers, Republican Congressman Trey Gowdy and Democratic state legislator Bakari Sellers.
This country will become better for the types of dialogues that we're having now.
It is easy to hate someone that you know nothing about. You get to know them, and the differences may remain, but the hate dissipates.
The origins of debate trace back to at least ancient Greece, where philosophers and scholars of rhetoric taught students how to argue multiple sides of a given issue.
Let's give this piece of evidence.
Today, Lee says, both debate and dialogue have become critical to solving society's problems.
I think both of those are threatened in the culture by, obviously, our polarization, but also our lack of trust. And then there's massive mis and disinformation, and so we need debate and dialogue to figure out what's true and what we should do about it.
You don't have any right to do that to anyone. Listen to these morons. Yeah, you're a moron.
Lee's work now comes against the backdrop of an online culture that incentivizes viral confrontation.
Who cares who does it? Democrats are Americans. Democrats are in America, so therefore you just admitted.
With titles like Woke Liberals Get Owned or MAGA Caller Destroyed, it's not uncommon for clips of political debates to have millions of views.
Thank you for your time.
Like Charlie Kirk's Prove Me Wrong conversations on college campuses.
You're just as much a cog in the capitalist system.
Or debates with the liberal live streamer Destiny.
I'm here at Jubilee, and today I am surrounded by 20 conspiracy theorists.
But perhaps no outlet in this area has received as much attention as Jubilee. The LA-based media company was founded after the 2016 election to bring people with different ideas together. Entrepreneur Jason Lee founded the company and is its CEO.
I just felt like the country was more divided than ever. And I felt like there was just this huge white space in the center for young people, which was about empathy, about dialogue, about nuance, which unfortunately at that time, and unfortunately now, it felt like we weren't seeing.
Today, Jubilee produces several series, including Surrounded, a show with debates such as one atheist versus 25 Christians, or one Republican versus 25 Kamala Harris voters.
Why not focus on the economy itself? All of us are struggling, and you want to focus on trans people.
Jubilee has 10.5 million YouTube subscribers. Its Surrounded episode featuring Charlie Kirk has been seen 38 million times.
I'm Mehdi Hasan. I'm a journalist.
And in July, Jubilee released an episode of Surrounded with liberal commentator Mehdi Hasan. Clips quickly ping-ponged around the internet, showing Hasan confronting 20 far-right conservatives.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution and stuff like that, which is bad.
We may have to rename this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you can say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
The viral videos sparked controversy and criticism of Jubilee over both the nature of its debates and the vetting of participants. In a statement to the NewsHour, a Jubilee spokesperson said, quote, "As our platform has grown, so has our commitment to evolving the vetting process. Jubilee is one of the few spaces on the internet that is not an echo chamber."
Debate is a different animal.
Professor Michael Lee's students have spent hours analyzing Jubilee's videos and others like them.
It's just to create buzz, just to get viral.
I'm so used to seeing the 10-second clickbaits, the gotcha moments.
How do you see what's available to so many students as they pick up their phone or their device? What are they seeing and how much of that is healthy?
I'm of two minds about some of these viral videos where, on the one hand, of course, the types of debates that we encourage and the types of debates I train students to plan and participate in are longer form. They encourage arguments, evidence, and rebuttals. And on the other hand, two people in a room together talking even angrily about, even in gotcha ways, about politics is the merest form of coexistence. I mean, it is a building block of democracy.
Lee also argues that this phenomenon isn't necessarily new.
Lincoln and Douglas were going for zingers. Every presidential debate has featured zingers. Making your point as concisely and persuasively as possible is always going to be a part of winning debates. And so I do think the idea that we're in a totally unique moment and that the debate has changed fundamentally is wrong.
Thank you very much, Chris, for that very fine speech.
Founded in 1815, the Cambridge Union in England is one of the oldest debating societies in the world. Over the years, the union has hosted key political and cultural figures from around the globe.
What this does to the subjugated.
Writer and civil rights activist James Baldwin famously debated conservative author William F. Buckley here in 1965.
The country has not, in its whole system of reality, evolved any place for you.
There is no instant cure for the race problem in America.
The union posts videos of its debates to YouTube, and recently clips with Charlie Kirk and the conservative commentator Ben Shapiro have soared to among its most watched. Ivan Alexei Ampia is the union's president.
Sometimes in this hyper-sensationalized medium that we're at, it's about getting somebody. It's about proving a point. It's about stabbing somebody in the back. It's about making a spectacle, which I can understand why that's an impulse. It sells, but it stops short of what it is that we're trying to achieve. Debating is a process. Debating is an activity. Debating is a pathway, but it's not the solution. The solution are the answers after the debate. It's what the debate achieves. And whilst I understand that it's important for us to watch these things like Jubilee, we shouldn't treat them solely as entertainment. We should also realize that they're affecting how people approach debate.
My first claim is that anti-vaccine lies cost lives.
In March, Jubilee published an episode of Surrounded featuring Mikhail Varshavsky, a family medicine physician known as Dr. Mike on social media, where he often debunks medical misinformation. He debated 20 vaccine skeptics.
Nothing in life is 100% safe. Driving or walking here today is not 100% safe. I could have a heart attack right now. Cannot predict it. But what we can do is try to do the best that we can with the information that we have.
Varshavsky told us it was his idea to go on Surrounded.
Of course, there's going to be bad actors who weaponize this and allow them to get millions of views, tons of sponsorship dollars. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. But instead of just villainizing it, I think we need to study it. We need to figure out how to do it effectively so that we can be there to contradict the false narratives, inaccurate information, and conspiracy theories.
Back in Charleston, students in Michael Lee's class used Dr. Mike's episode of Surrounded as an example of productive debate.
He was still obviously sharing his views and opinions, but he was fascinated by what other people had to say.
For Lee, this work has taken on new meaning since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. In the days after the killing, Lee asked his students how they felt about organizing debates on campus.
Do you feel safe doing it? Do you feel like it's more important? Do you feel like it's less important? Do you feel like it's debate's fault? And we all came to a kind of rough agreement that it's more important than ever that there be healthy debate and healthy conflicts in the culture and, of course, on college campuses.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Judy Woodruff in Charleston, South Carolina.